Alright, we have a Motorola G75, just doing a screen replacement on it. First things first, this back cover is made of plastic, so it's pretty flexible, as you can see. The cameras are actually clipped in over here. So this camera housing there, you can see these little clips, it's actually clipped in. So when you're taking this off, heat it up, of course, a little bit of alcohol plectrum, just work your way around, it should come off pretty easily. So that's the first thing. Next, let's get these screws out. Just going to turn this sideways. I don't do this very often, so I've taken this antenna off, and it's got some tape underneath it, see there, which comes off quite easily actually off of this section here. Just peel it off. I couldn't get the screws out very easily, and I didn't want to dig in there with tweezers, so all of them pretty much stayed in place, but just be careful you don't lose screws. And always remember to map your screws out. So next I'm going to disconnect the battery and make sure don't use anything metal to disconnect the battery. Alright, done. And probably going to need to take this. Oh, that's not even in place. That's fine, no problem. We don't need to peel the back. And then the SIM card, which is over there. Let's get this SIM card out. Okay, done. So now I'm just going to do the charging port area. That's got, okay. Thing to note here is that this actually comes in two pieces. So I've taken those initial screws out, and this actually lifts off very, very easily, so it's not going to be difficult to take off at all. And these screws are easy to get out as well. Just going to do the last few. Okay, got those other screws out. Now I want to have a quick careful look here, because if you have a look, you've got this white cable running underneath there, and then it's running on top of this, what looks like a speaker to me. So just take note of where that goes. So I'd imagine this wouldn't be too difficult to lift up. Get it underneath there. It looks like that white cable actually attaches to the speaker, so it comes off in one piece. That's fine. Okay, battery is disconnected. Just undo this clip over here, and that speaker should come out quite easily. In this bottom section, you've got a screw just holding this in. Take note where that goes back. Alright, right in the middle there. And then this piece here should actually come up on its own. Yeah, we've only got one screw there, so that's fine. Once again, have a look at where these cables are running. Right on the bottom, right? Let's see if we can get a little bit of elevation here. Yep. Okay, that's done as well. Right, good. So with the Motorola's, you can't pull these out until the battery comes out. Let's just see if we can get this top section out, this top circuit board. I've looked at it and I don't see any screws, so let me see if I can get this underneath here and pop this up. Okay, we're good. Alright, now I want to see if this will just come out on its own. Actually, what I'm going to do first before I do anything else is just lay this over there. I'm just going to heat this up and get this battery out of here, because then I can take this out all in one go. Okay, so I've got the battery out, as you can see, and you've got these that have obviously got to be transplanted. That's the main cable for the screen. So let's see if we can get this main board out. Remember, the Motorola's are normally quite well clipped in place. I'm just going to undo this here as well, because I don't know what that connects to at this stage. Yes, I don't see any screws on this at all. So I finally got this out. So it lifts up probably on that corner there and comes out this way. Lifts up, comes out in that direction there. You can see there's this little section here that actually fits into a recess there. So it's quite hard to get out, and what might help as well is actually just to disconnect this camera. But, you know, learning. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to take off this little piece of rubber protection over here. Keep that. You've got to put it back. And then, remember the red was on the bottom, right? Have a look here. It's organized. Okay, red at the bottom, black and then white. Just pull those cables out, take the whole thing out. Shouldn't be too difficult to do. Red, black and white. Okay. This piece out like that. Now, that looks like some form of proximity sensor over there with a piece of rubber on it. What you need to do now, so remember you've got to put some paste in there. That's to dissipate the heat. Take this off. That's got to go back in afterwards, and then you need to get this cable out. So it'll come out pretty easy normally. That's done. And the vibration motor, that needs to come out too. So I'm just going to take that out, and then we'll look to reassemble. Looking at reassembly, I've got the vibration motor in there, and I'm just going to put a bit of this heat thermal paste on here. Right, bit there, bit here, and a little bit over here. Okay, done. Just going to clean this off. I'll just stay in this area. Right. Yep, good. So next thing we need to do is let's get this main circuit board back in. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to remove that camera and put that camera in afterwards. So what I've done, I just unclipped the camera, so it's not going to act as a resistance. Remember, you've got to have this, it's a little like a rubber grommet for the proximity sensor over here. So this should actually go in. So just before I do this, let me just put this down for a sec. I'm just going to take this and get it out of the way. Just tape this back out of the way. Okay, over there. And then this piece here, touching this paste, this here needs to be pulled back. And then before I do that, let's just remove this protection for the, so that's now out. Okay, drop the camera in there, turn this sideways, let's just get this out of the way. So got this cable here that needs to be pulled out of the way, right? So now it should actually just drop into place. Yeah, we're good there. Yeah, it's a lot easier to put back in than to take out. Get these pieces out the way. This one here, that one there. That looks good. That's in. Okay, push this camera back into place. That one's good. That'll be fine. This one here, reattach that. That's good. Then over here, just get that into place. That little clip. Done. Right. Now, what I want to do, just turn this sideways so I can see what I'm doing. I can show you what I'm doing. Take that off there. And let's just run this down, connect it up to there. Right. And from there, just going to take this and push it right in. Okay, so this should actually run pretty flat, really. If it ran all the way through, okay, yeah, that'll work. So let's take that off there. Undo this. Take this tape off the back. Right, so this is always a bit tricky to get it just right. But if we plug this in first, there, and then look at that, perfect. Happy with that? Right. Then the next one to do is to get these cables where they're supposed to be. So if I remember correctly, red was on the bottom, wasn't it? So you see there's actually a bit of adhesive in here, so you want to get that out of there. Well, that was easier than I thought. So white was on top and red was on the bottom. Right, so more or less got those cables where I want them, so I'm just going to push this back into place where it's supposed to be. Right, and then I can tidy those cables up in a minute. Get this screw back in here. Remember where it goes right there. Yep, that seems good. Right, and then I'm going to finish routing that white cable in a minute. this is going to go over there like that. Looks to me like this probably fits in there, I would imagine. So what you can do just to hold everything in place is just put one screw in. I'll put that one in there. Just putting one screw in just to hold everything in place, and I can finish routing these cables. So we've finally got all those cables where they're supposed to go. You can see the whites running on here quite nicely. There's enough space there all the way down the bottom. And we need to put this piece back in. This is a typical Motorola with these little bits and pieces that make it just a little bit more fiddly. But put it back together the way you found it. Okay, happy with that. That's done. Now I want to install this other cable. As you can see, it's already been shaped, so just take that protection off there, and then obviously you're looking for sub, which is here. Right, it should clip on, that's fine. And then what I like to do is this. This should actually really tuck in like that. There. And then before we let it all get stuck down, that's going to have to line up with this. Over there. Okay, we're good there. And then over there. I would say probably run it up. It's pretty flat really. So it's on there, all in place. Then remember, you've got another piece that, like protective rubber, has to go in here. So it's got to go in here. Don't really know if these make any difference personally, but part of all the Motorola phones, so there you have it. Right, so making progress. So what I'm going to do now is just put this back in place. Just having a look at it to see how it clips in. I think it clips in like that. There and there. Yep. Seated quite easily. Start off on this corner. Okay. All those screws are in place as it should be. A good indicator of if the board is in properly is if the SIM card tray slides in as it should. Let's have a little look and see. Yep, it's looking good. That's done. So now I'm going to put the battery in. So the Motorola G75 is not too difficult to repair, which is nice. Okay. What you can do here, it should just drop into place. That's all good. Okay. That on top, right. Okay. So now we need to get this piece and this tape back on here. So remember, I've left these screws in because they didn't want to come out that easy. So I kind of figured they should be alright. It's all in place. Okay. I wouldn't imagine it needs to be 100%. And then let's see if we can clip this back in. Remember, you got those screws in the way, so just be a bit mindful of that. Clipping this back in goes in pretty easy, really. Except in this corner is not going that easy. I'm just going to tighten one of these just to keep this in place. Yeah, let's do that one. Okay. Let's get a little. There you go. Right. So let's get all of these screws back in where they're supposed to be. I'm not going to ask you to watch that. So all the screws are back in. Let's see if it turns on. Wish me luck. Hey! Right, so all you got to do obviously is put some tape around the edges, glue the back cover on. So there you go. Hope that was helpful. Give us a thumbs up, like, share, do as you please.